Hey guys, Retro Badger here. Hope you're all well. Today we are celebrating 10,000 subscribers. I honestly cannot believe so many people have subscribed to the channel. It's just completely taken me by surprise. It really has. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's watched, commented, liked, or subscribed to the channel. It means so much to me. I absolutely love doing requests for people, so please keep sending those in, and I hope you feel a part of the channel because this is our channel. That's the way I see it. It's not just my channel, it's everyone who watches. I want you to have input into it, and I really hope you're enjoying it. I note down every single request that you send in, and I literally have a book probably about that thick full of requests, and I am slowly making my way through them, so keep watching. One question I keep being asked is, why did I start the channel up originally? And the reason why is I was bored. I didn't really have anything else to do, so I thought I'd post a few videos on YouTube, and I was interested to see if anyone was still playing a nearly 20-year-old Star Trek game, and to my surprise, a lot of people were still playing it. People were really impressed with Kobayashi Maru. They didn't know that you could mod Bridge Commander. And then something special happened. Somebody sent in a request, and I thought, hang on, that's not a bad idea. I'd love to do a request for somebody. So I put up a battle. I can't quite remember what it was. I've got a feeling it might have been the Galaxy X class, and it just went from there. People kept commenting with their battle requests, and then I kept doing it, and I just love it. It's great. Well, we've got a great show lined up for you today. We've got some special guests. Now, first of all, we're going to have MSR1701 joining us. Now, he's the person who has been slowly converting all of the old mods from Kobayashi Maru to work perfectly in Bridge Commander Remastered, and it's fair to say he's made quite an impact on the modding community. I'd say he's at least converted, it must be close to 1,000 ships by now at least, and yeah, amazing. So he's going to come on and talk to us about that for a little bit, and then we're going to have Hexagonal Nexel and Greystar, two of the most talented modders I've ever known. I've also got a quickfire quiz for them as well, where I'm going to ask them some Star Trek related questions, and I am very interested to hear their responses on some of these. Oh wait, what's this? I'm being hailed. Who's this? It's the Chief Comedian!
Hey guys, not Retro Badger here. This is the channel comedian saying to Retro Badger, congratulations on 10,000 subscribers. We've seen some great stuff on this channel. Star Trek Online walkthroughs of incredible games that I haven't even heard of. Brand new Star Trek Bridge Commander ships, and let's face it, top shelf Star Trek Bridge Commander battles. Congratulations again on 10,000 subscribers, Retro Badger. I look forward to the future of this channel. I look forward to you messing about with the cloaking device at the worst possible times. I'll just be here promoting Quarks Entertainment LLC, and may you boldly go where no Badger has gone before.
Come to Quarks. Quarks is fun. Come right now. Don't walk. Run!
Wow, can you believe that? That was Mr. Comedian, the channel's chief comedian. I think that's the first time we've ever seen him. Now we know what he looks like. How cool's that? So yeah, I think Quark has just told him to go back to work, but thank you, Mr. Comedian. Your message really means a lot to me, and it's been a privilege for you to roast me on every single video and entertain us with your humour. Right, well, I'm joined today by the legendary MSR1701. You may have heard of him. I've mentioned him probably in every other video I've made. He's the person who has been converting a lot of ships from Kobayashi Maru, making them workable, and then putting them into Bridge Commander Remastered. I'd say a lot. It's probably, what, 1,000? Maybe? More?
Close.
Yeah. Great. So first of all, thank you for being on. It wouldn't feel right if I didn't invite you on into a celebration video. You are a big part of the channel. So first of all, could you tell us a bit about the process? So you've been taking the old ships and making them work in Bridge Commander Remastered. I mean, has that been challenging? Is it something that was easy to do?
It's been an experience. Some cases it's very easy. You just change the script value here, do a tweak to the script naming here. Then there's some where anything with nano effects, it gets interesting because you have to remove the lines, and then you have ones, the upcoming Walker class that guy Brian released.
Oh yeah.
The model vertices were so high that I had to get some assistance from other modders to scale it back.
Oh wow. Okay.
So there's certain ones that have special needs, and then there's also omissions because Kobayashi Maru has built-in safeties for when icons are missing, when scripts are missing. Remaster does not, and so you have to go back in and fix them. And if there's, like, say, a missing torpedo file, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, so they're very... Bridge Commander Remastered is very different to Kobayashi Maru, isn't it? It's a lot more stable, I think.
Very much so, very much so. Short version, it omits a lot of the key elements of Kobayashi Maru for optimization, and while it does help it out, it also creates a lot of incompatibilities that were not present previously, and you can get a lot of old mods to run in it. A lot of stuff won't work on it. For example, like, say, Babylon 5 mod, with all the glorious extra text that the modder did for that one. Those will not run in Bridge Commander Remastered at this present configuration.
I mean, I think everybody appreciates the hard work you've done with converting this. I mean, the one issue with Bridge Commander is obviously with most of them were in Kobayashi Maru, the mods, until you came along, actually, and it was quite challenging to play. I mean, you were having crashes after maybe 2 battles, but now a lot of these ships have been moved over to Remastered. It's turning into
you can have you can have massive fleet on fleet battles. It's quite an experience of what you can do.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So we did see a video the other day that I put out about Remastered 2.5, the alpha version. So could you tell us a bit more about that?
The in-house name in my head, at least, was version 1.2.5, also known as the unofficial expansion. A few modders and I are spitballing some ideas about expanding the multiplayer and wave mode options in Remastered, and that led to increasing the number of ships exponentially on all fronts for the major races. Primarily, it's aimed to bring canonical ships only. From TNG, DS9, and Picard, and the newer treks of the 24th, 25th centuries. Way down the low road, we may try to add some more and some non-canonical, but that's way down the road. But right now, the big focus is balancing them out, getting them into the game, updating the core files to where they'll run in the game, because the way multiplayer scripting works, you have to have the ship values coded in.
Oh, really?
That's the layman version of it, but and honestly, I'm excited for it just because I love wave mode. I didn't even know wave mode existed until another YouTube channel brought it up.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, I've only played with it. I've maybe put a few hours playing it, but even the balancing so far, it just looks and feels so much better.
Head of the balancing has been Tenacity, and he's been kicking butt and taking names on getting those down, and there's been a few others throwing in ideas and suggestions. Von Frank's also thrown in a few suggestions, and if I had my way, I would try and see if we can get the Quick Battle Plus built in as a default for the expansion to replace the existing Quick Battle mode, just because of how awesome Quick Battle Plus is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I completely
Which,
agree.
by the way, major updates on a regular basis for those internally. That we're still in beta testing for our new version, but that's also been a major development tool. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we've got different AIs to fight against. The
finally got an extreme difficulty that's not going to cause kamikaze every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on with that when I first started playing it, and the ship's just trying to ram into me. I'm like, hang on, this is Bridge Commander Remastered. That doesn't happen. But yeah.
that AI has gotten into become its own. That instead of extreme, that's now flagged as kamikaze. So that is an actual setting that the modder took and said, "Okay, I'm going to run with this," and so it definitely makes it a very different experience. I love it. I love it for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good. Hey, so, well, what's your favorite ship that you've brought into remastered so far?
Oh, favorite ship I've run to remastered?
Yeah.
Oh,
Difficult question, really. I mean, you've done quite a few.
yeah, because I'm a big motion picture era nutball, and there's so many of them that I love seeing in there. And honestly, there's one ship that was one of my earliest ones brought in. I probably would say the favorite ship that I brought in would probably be the USS James T. Kirk.
Ah,
I believe the artist's name was Atolm, if I pronounced that right.
sounds
It was
familiar.
late 23rd century heavy cruiser in the vein of a Excelsior overhaul, but very nice ship, very well designed. I've seen some of the artist sketches of it, and it is really gorgeous and a joy to play with.
Yeah, I remember that ship. It was really nice. In fact, I'm going to put that in a video soon. There's some amazing artists in the British Commander community. So talented. Got, let's see, we've got Wile E. Coyote. To
Wile E.
name one.
Coyote, DJ Curtis,
Yeah.
Cyanide. I mean, the list is as long as my arm as far as people that are well known, not lesser well known. I
Yeah.
mean, and then you have groups like Star Force Productions that took the
Oh,
old
yeah.
fast tabletop games and just cranked them out as models on a regular basis. And then you got Max, who released the Aftermath mod and all the work he did into that. And it's really honestly what's amazing is looking back at some of the old modders and the models they did and how they use that to launch themselves into newer careers. Some of them, like Wile E. Coyote, have gone on to do calendars for Ships of the Line calendars.
Oh,
Some of the stuff
yes.
that Max does nowadays, you look at he looks at his old stuff and says, "Oh, that's not that good." I'm sitting there going, "Are you crazy? I wish I could do that."
Perfectionist. Wow. It's incredible. It really is.
Yeah, I cannot stress enough that all levels of Bridge Commander modding is a team effort. There's so many people that are involved at all levels, be it the small scripting levels, the tools to make the modding, the sound effects, the artists for the ship models, and the special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, half the stuff that Greystar does is usually in conjunction with Hexagonal helping out with some things, or someone else will pitch an idea or throw a texture over his way, and then vice versa. When Hexa works on something, Gray or someone else will throw in something, and then you got some of the I don't want to call them old guard because they're still very much active and still kicking butt, but
Hmm.
you got legends like Black Rook 32, Mario, and Lurok that are working on an expanded version of what was called BCMM. I'm not sure if Maelstrom Mod is still the name it's going with,
Ah.
but they've got a new mod in the works that they've started teasing, and they're saying it's what they've said of it is that it's going to be so much better than BCMM, and if it's as a tenth as good as they're saying, I am really looking forward to it because
Ooh.
BCMM was extremely impressive.
Yes, definitely. Wow, that's exciting news, really. I mean, you would not think that this game is, how old is it now? 20,
20 plus years
20
old
plus
and
at
still
least, yeah.
kicking teeth. I mean, it's not on the community level of say Age of Empires,
Hmm.
but for a 20 plus year old game, it's still doing pretty dang good.
Yeah, and I don't think there has been a replacement for Bridge Commander, really, has there? We don't have a space combat game as good as this, a Starship one at least.
Legacy at one point was touted as a replacement for it, and that was back when before Legacy came out. Then Legacy came
Hmm.
out, and nope.
No, no. There is
Um,
there's an impressive mod for that game actually, but
oh,
it's
yeah.
yeah, but it's on. It's
And
kind of. It's not 3D, is it? Really? Like you sort of on a stilt. You know. It doesn't. You can't really do what you want in that game, if you know what I mean. It doesn't feel like
oh
you're in
yeah,
true 3D.
yeah. That was the one of the biggest Achilles heels of the Legacy itself. And I mean, honestly, Bridge Commander was of a type that they never really revisited,
Yeah.
and honestly would not lend itself well to the MMO style like Star Trek Online has. And it's really amazing how ambitious the game was, and even more impressive is what coders have taken with a 20-year-old game
Yes.
Dasher did build the foundation, literally the program, the scripting is called Foundation, the building blocks on which all Bridge Commander modding is built on.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how people have taken the foundations and just built on it and done crazy, magical, wonderful things. They're still doing things with Foundation that absolutely was never intended, and it is amazing what some of the modders are able to do with this stuff.
It's incredible. I really do hope that we get a new version of Bridge Commander someday, as I think definitely the market is there for it. So many people want to play it. I mean, luckily we've got Bridge Commander, and like you said, there's so many amazing people working on it, and I imagine if the original creators could see the game now, they'd be absolutely blown away by it.
From what I understand, Age of Empires 2 got a kickstart. They had a re-release of a sort on Steam for the HD version, and that kickstarted the modding community and the playing of Age of Empires. And Microsoft realized, hey, we need to invest in that.
Oh, really?
And it took some time. It wasn't an overnight thing, but it took time. It took several years, and it just reignited and got the fuel going.
Wow.
In Bridge Commander's case, there was talk of a sequel that ultimately went nowhere, to the point that you can still find mods on Gamefront that are called BC2 ships that were intended for use for Bridge Commander 2, which was then a possible project. But with the current modding scene, you have Remastered, you have Kobayashi Maru, you have the mod formerly known as BCM, I guess, and you got Remastered version 1.3. With all these mods and all this attention getting, it's not impossible that CBS may take notice and go, maybe we should contract out someone to do something like this. I mean, one could hope.
Let's hope so. Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, so I've got some questions to ask you, if that's okay. Just some quick fire questions. So what is your favorite Star Trek TV show?
Favorite TV show?
Yeah.
TV show, I would probably say Next Generation.
Right. Okay. Great.
It's tough between TOS, but TNG overall as far as TV show.
Okay, that's good. What's your favorite Star Trek movie?
Motion picture.
I just realized your Discord picture. Is that one of
Katinga Glass? Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Favorite non-Federation starship.
Right. Okay. Well, that brings me on to the next one. What is your overall favorite ship from Star Trek?
The TMP Enterprise class, also known as the Constitution Refit. Specifically, the 1979 one.
Right. Okay, and who is your favorite Star Trek captain?
James T. Kirk, William Shatner.
Yeah, good. What is your favorite, outside of Star Trek, what's your favorite video game?
That is a tough one. I'm a huge retro gamer, so right now it's a toss-up between the Evercade system as a whole, just for the variety, or the Neo Geo Pocket Collections on the Switch.
Nice. Really good choice there. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Well, shout out to you, Greystar, and Hexa, along with Sci-Fi King, I just realized it's 2024. Back in 2022, I had just gotten a hold of Bridge Commander in the fall of that year and saw random YouTube videos of which yours, Greystar's, Hexas, and Sci-Fi's were the first ones that caught my eye. And it was through a live stream that Greystar was doing that I got into the community. And seeing all the stuff you were showing off and some of the things you were talking about for Remastered, I should clarify, I'm running on a dinky laptop that cannot run the full 1080p that most games do, so I've stayed away from Remastered for forever. And then getting into the community, someone showed me, hey, you just use this program here to modify this, and you can do that. And I go, oh, let me try installing this. Wow!
Cool.
But yeah, just a big shout out to you, Retro, and just thank you for what you're doing, and especially keeping up the regular flow of videos, because work has been so stressful of late, and I appreciate the laughs.
Oh, well, thank you. Honestly, you are a big part of this channel. You really are. You've contributed so much to the Bridge Commander community. So thank you back. Great. Well, that is MSR 1701, and thank you for joining us today.
Hey, my pleasure.
Next, we have Hexagonal Nexel and Greystar. Now, I am honoured to be joined by Greystar and Hexagonal Nexel. So, thank you so much for coming on to the 10,000 celebration, 10,000 subscriber celebration. And,
of course.
Yep, hello. So, how are you today?
I'm okay.
Good. And Gray, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. Good job. Awesome on 10,000 subscribers. It's
Oh, thank you.
completely awesome. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, you two are such a big part of the channel. You really are. You've contributed so much to the channel. You're always sending me new ships, and it just wouldn't feel right not having you two on the show. So, first of all, I'd just like to ask you about the projects that you're currently working on. So, we know about the Dark Timeline, and you've made a lot of ships now, haven't you, in that chapter?
Oh, yeah.
So,
quite a bit.
Yeah. Could you tell me a bit about the Dark Timeline? Like, how is it different from the Prime universe?
So basically, the Dark Timeline is completely separate. It's pretty much its own timeline. It was basically the result of the Husnock moving from the Prime timeline to another timeline.
Oh, wow.
And
it's not linear to the Federation.
yeah, it's not, but there was a lot of jumping between them. There will be jumping as well in the storyline between those two timelines. But the Husnock were the main power in the galaxy from like all the way before the pre-NX era.
Oh, wow.
And it took them basically up until, well, I'll say this. I'll start linear. The NX era, the Romulans were wiped out pretty much. The Federation never met the Romulans. The Klingons were basically the same because they resisted the Husnock, and you know how powerful the Husnock is.
Yeah,
Took down shields, and you can imagine that in the NX era. So basically, the Federation developed their own cloaking devices and stuff to hide their ships. They started looking more into weapons and defenses. They had more of a mix. They were trying to keep their ships entirely protected.
Essentially, the Section 31 actually took over the Federation at some point, and they became the Union power.
Pretty much,
so,
yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense what you're saying, actually, like in terms of how powerful the ships are and the type of weaponry. Yeah.
So the explanation, I've seen some comments saying like people are saying sometimes how the ships are too OP. The reason for that is because every piece of technology, classified or non-classified, that the Federation could use to sustain its vessels are being used in the Dark Timeline. So a lot of times you'll even see if we ever make like movies, right? They'll be using like tricobalt torpedoes pretty often in the TNG era. So
yeah, that is true.
Oh wow.
Yeah, even then it took until the 25th century before they even started a pushback. Well, the mid 25th century until they started pushing back against the Husnock. Even then, with how powerful they are.
Yeah, because the Husnock are ridiculously powerful, aren't they?
Yeah.
There was one thing that me and Gray agreed upon. The Eclipse class was the first ship to destroy a Husnock warship in the Dark Timeline. That's what makes it so special. So yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
It was the first
wow.
one.
That's great. Yeah, I'm really glad you've explained that more, because I think a lot of people were really wondering sort of the backstory with the Dark Timeline.
And a lot of the species origins and stuff were changed due to the Husnock meddling in time as well as dimensional crossover, but yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So that's, one day, could this be made canon? Could it appear in
possibly?
Or,
But the rule is, however, if this is made into Star Trek canon, we will be the directors.
Oh,
so it's it's not gonna be the same as modern Trek.
Yeah.
Actually, do you want to know about the origin of the Dark Timeline?
Sure, yeah.
So, there was this one video I found online. If you go and search up Galaxy Refit Firepower, you'll find a video of two Galaxy X ships going up against an Intrepid that has like a dark purple hull with dark blue glows and Borg shields. And and it takes firepower from both of those Galaxy X ships and takes no damage.
Wow.
So then I thought, okay, what if I make this into something that can like actually be its own thing? It would be really interesting since I'm learning how to mod Bridge Commander, because this was like, I actually saw this before I started playing Bridge Commander. And then one day I showed Graystar the video, and he's like, yo, I completely agree with this idea. This should definitely be a thing. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, he ends up making most of the ships because I'm really busy with real life stuff. I almost have no time. So, but yeah, that's basically the origin story of it.
One thing I do get asked quite a lot is, with your Dark Timeline ships, are you any closer? Do you think you'll be releasing it publicly? Is it something?
Yeah, I will do a public release. What I wanted to, I think I've said it before in the comments, but it's good to get it out there. I want at least one of every ship from every era, from the NX to the 32nd century. Right now, I believe I have a poll on YouTube, or not a poll, a community on my YouTube. I'm only missing the motion picture era, which I'm gonna do a Connie refit for, which you're gonna, yeah, I love the Connie refit.
Do Miranda as well. It'd be nice to have both of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Connie refit Miranda. We have the Lost era, the 26th century, which now that we have the Enterprise J mod,
Wow.
I can make a Dark Timeline Enterprise J, which, yeah. And then the 31st century, which is really all I have left. 4 little ships that I have to do before I release one, plus a little bit of editing. But there will be a public release soon.
Wow. Okay. So, well, I have put a link below to both of your channels, because I do watch your channels, and it's amazing seeing some of the new stuff that you're showcasing on there. So, if you're into Bridge Commander modding, check these guys out. Honestly, the stuff they have made so far is just, it's incredible. It really is. So I'm going to put a link below to both of your channels.
Can I just mention something?
Of course, yeah.
So I think this is about 3 years ago. I was watching your video. It's one you had on the Galaxy X versus the Excalibur. At the time, I didn't even know what the Excalibur was. But I was waiting for that lance beam, and you started shooting out pulses, because that's how the mod was made, and it like upset me a lot.
Oh, really?
Right? So, yeah, that's one of the things that kind of got me. It's like, maybe I should get this game.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Oh, it's nice to hear that you...
Yeah. And then for me, it was a similar story. I remember I found a video called Bridge Commander it was Bridge Commander Board Cube versus Enterprise J, and it had the old Enterprise J, because at the time I was obsessed with the Enterprise J. I still am. It's one of my favorite designs, despite what people say about it. But I found a video from I think it was 8 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago.
Wow.
And I commented on it. It was probably 4 years ago at this point. I said, wow, that is a really cool ship. And I asked about the game. And I went through, I explained some technology kind of badly, because I didn't really know tech at that time. But then I remember I had known the game for 4 years at that point, and I only got it like probably 2 years ago, and I didn't get it to work properly because I kind of put it off. And then I remember seeing your videos, and I was like, okay, I need to get this game working. And I ended up doing it. So
cool.
You're the reason for both of us.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
My story for getting Bridge Commander is a little different. So essentially, I started watching your videos, right? And it's actually what got me into I was into Star Trek. My first Trek experience was actually Discovery. I went to go watch Enterprise after I watched Discovery. And then I was like, oh, this show's much better, even though it's like a lot older. The quality is like the scripting, the lineage, all that stuff, right? And then, get this, after I watched Enterprise, I watched Voyager. So it switched from the human ship being the weakest and less advanced one to the complete opposite. And I remember the one scene that got me to absolutely love Star Trek was Voyager's phaser arrays combining to pulses, combining into a beam weapon. I lost my mind when I saw that. And
awesome.
so then I started watching, so then I started watching your channel, and I'm like, oh, I should get this game. I went and got Star Trek Online, and I'm like, oh, this game's pretty fun, right? And then I think I stopped watching like any Trek related content for a while. I was just playing STO. I went back to watch your videos. I'm like, hey, on a second, how can he move his ships like that? And then that's when I actually went and saw that, oh, Bridge Commander is a different game, right? But yeah.
Yeah, there's some major differences, isn't there, between how online handles and how Bridge Commander plays. They're totally separate. I think online is more like Star Trek Legacy, isn't it? The way the ships handle.
It's sad. It's sad because online, one of the games it could have chosen from was Bridge Commander. They were one of the games they were considering to do the UI and stuff.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was one of the games they considered, but they ended up going with the legacy ship maneuvering thing and the UI and stuff. And that's what ended up being Star Trek Online. But Bridge Commander was one of the things that they could have done and could have used, which is sad because it would have probably been a better game in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it would. I mean, I'm not sure how it would have worked in a server environment. I mean, I don't know if that would make a difference. Would it be more complex? I'm not sure.
I think it would be more. It would be cooler. It would be
definitely
way cooler.
cooler. Yeah, 100% agree. How did? Because obviously you two work as a team together, so a lot of these ships that come out, it's it's a teamwork. So how did you sort of learn to mod? The pair of you, did you just sort of start from scratch and pick it up?
So
it's over a year at this point. A year ago, I learned from Hexa, actually. He was the one who taught me to mod the game.
All right.
My first ship was, or my first hardpoint was the Asimov, which is a,
Was it not the Atlas?
No, the Asimov was my first ever ship. The Atlas was the first one I ever released. The Asimov...
okay.
Because I didn't know what... we have a program in the community called Model Property Editor, where it allows you to visualize the hardpoint, if you will.
Okay.
And that I didn't have that beforehand, so before I released the Asimov, I had to go back and redo it once I figured out what Model Property Editor was. But I remember going through that and learning the different stuff, and Hex was telling me about it, because it was a while back, and I didn't really know much of anything, really.
Okay.
And at one point in time, I was like, wow, I'm never going to be doing these mods, because they're so complex, but now I can get them done in a day.
Wow.
And it really started out with Hex, so yeah, thank you for that, Hex.
Oh yeah, I for the record, by the way, I'd be willing to teach anyone to mod Bridge Commander, if you want. So just let me know. So for me, my experience is a little different, I think. So I guess you could say that the reason I know how to mod Bridge Commander. So I first got the game, and I was playing with the game, and I'm like, I don't want to mess with the values. It's gonna ruin the experience, like with the phasers. Like it's not gonna feel like an energy beam. It's just gonna feel like values and stuff. But now that I look back, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like you get to balance whatever you want, and if you do it correctly, it plays beautifully in the game, right?
Yeah.
So my story goes, I started playing Bridge Commander, and I remember the first ship I tried out, Enterprise G, Eclipse class. I was obsessed with that thing. Transphasic phasers. Oof. I was in love. Because like I said, I was playing STO before that, and I used to compare the Eclipse with the Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And then I joined. I started looking for servers on Discord about Bridge Commander, and I found a couple of them. But the one that I mainly stick to is this one called SCBC Rep, which is actually it stands for Remastered Enhancement Project. So for you remastered players who think remastered is better than Kobayashi Maru, you have no idea what's coming. I'm just letting you know. These are guys that are like way beyond me. They're like official IT engineers. They're doing
Wow.
an incredible job. They're basically remaking the game from the ground up. And it's gonna play a lot smoother. It'll have probably more options than Kobayashi Maru, while looking probably better and functioning better than remastered as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these guys taught me a few things. They said like, yeah, you should look into the hard point, right? The hard point is how you edit what the ship does in game. So I remember there was one guy particularly. His name is Jimmy. He actually sat down with me for a few hours on the first few days, and he showed me around. And then after that, I was like, you know what? That's what it is. It's an open road. So I took the sprint, and then I started messing with a few things here and there. I asked around here and there how to do stuff, but mainly just trial and error, seeing like, okay, I'm gonna edit this value. What's it gonna do in game? And it took me around a year to
Wow.
finally do some good mods. I also found out how to change the sounds in game.
Oh yes.
And then later on, I found out how to make my own sounds using Audacity. And then it led me to creating a very infamous or famous ship, if you will, the Windrunner.
Oh
I,
yes.
I saw it. Yeah, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
It was very weak, and I thought like, what if I balance this to actual 27th century stats? So I did, and then I was thinking about giving it to a channel, and I thought like, okay, what if I tell Retro Badger about it? I think like, will he do a video? And rest is history.
Oh cool. Wow. So yeah, quite a journey then, really, from the beginning.
Yeah.
So from what you're saying about the new stuff that's being worked on, that's really exciting. Really, the
Oh, it
future of
really
Bridge
is. Yeah.
Commander is flying, isn't it? It's soaring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing.
There's gonna be one of the features I know that's gonna be implemented in Rep is walk FX. You'll be able to like walk around the bridge and stuff.
Oh wow, that's cool. I do know there's something called seatbelt, isn't there? Seatbelt mode or something like that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I saw
There
something
is.
in the past.
Probably a JJ reference.
Yeah, good one. I mean, I've been playing Bridge Commander since it came out. I remember buying it on the actual day it was released, and
wow.
I was modding it back in 2004. So I was playing Kobayashi Maru, or a version of it back then. And to see how much it's transformed in the last few years, it's just amazing. Really is.
Oh yeah. And then lately, like in the last few months, I've been looking into the some different elements of the game, like the shield impacts, the shield textures, all that stuff. And then like I like mess around to see what's better. And then if I come up with something good, I give it around.
Yeah, I know you did that quality of life upgrade with the sound effects, and it's absolutely superb. It really is. It's like I actually enjoy my own ship getting hit by torpedoes just to hear the sound, like the
Thank
shield
you.
being collided. But yeah,
Recently, we've been breaking into a lot of things that haven't been seen in Bridge Commander for a long time now. I think I remember I was talking with one of the members of SFRD,
yeah,
the last member of SFRD, and he was talking about the things that we were doing hadn't been seen since WC had modded them, who
wow.
we've actually talked with, and he's a great
Yeah.
guy. He's got
Oh
great
really?
stories.
We've talked to double.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Oh
have.
wow.
He's
Yeah,
a, he's
he's
a
a legend.
great
Isn't he?
man. He is.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
really is. Yeah.
he's absolutely superb. His ships. I think they're just so nice to look at. They really are.
Yeah, they really
Because
are.
what he does, believe it or not, he takes peripheral pictures of the ships and he textures them pixel by pixel in terms of
Wow.
accuracy.
That's
So
Yeah.
each ship takes like months to do, but the end result is just superb.
It's incredible. That is a
Yeah.
real talent. It really is. Sorry, you and,
Oh, yeah.
and Hexagonal Nexel have been working on the new Wells class. And
Oh, yeah.
the textures. Could you tell us a bit more about that with the colours and the
Well,
lighting?
first off, credit goes where credit's due. The texturing bit for the Wells class is all gray. It's not me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I took the model. The model
Yeah.
was in pieces. I had to put the model together, and then I had to link all the textures and stuff. And I
It's actually
made-
from Star Trek Online.
yeah,
that one.
it's
Ah.
model from Star Trek Online. But I actually made the textures for the Wells class. The original textures for the Wells class, and they tried to add in the colors as if they were already one part of the hull,
Yeah.
which I didn't really like. So I went in and I desaturated the whole texture, and it took me an hour to match that kind of bluish purple that the Wells had.
Wow.
And I had to take several layers and of the same image, of course, and saturate them and change the color and then overlay them all on top of each other to get that specific color. And then where the Wells class, the new Wells class, and honestly the best one in my opinion, because I did use Hexagonal's hardpoint for it, which I find to be very good. I took a texture, a specular texture, and I put it over the Wells class, and I managed to plug in through the use of the Vox file of the Wells class. I managed to plug in a colored specular, which hadn't been done since WC did it way back in the day.
Wow.
And that we now have a Canon Wells class, and we do have more coming. We have Lineage of the Wells class coming.
Oh,
But
great.
Yeah.
I'll leave that a secret.
I'm very grateful for you sending that over to me, but it looks exactly like in the TV show. So it kind of, when it flies past, it kind of shimmers, and it just matches what we saw in Voyager.
Yeah.
And it's superb.
It's gorgeous.
Since the beginning, the Wells class, I've always wanted to have like a Wells class that changes colors, and I've been trying to do it literally since the beginning, since I've started modding, but I just figured it out recently, and I was overjoyed.
Yeah, you should be.
Oh yeah, one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. For the Enterprise J mod I'm doing, so the saucer textures were broken, and then Gray pointed it out to me. He's like, "Yo, the saucers are broke. The saucer textures are like gone. They don't exist." And he was right. This guy works on it for 10 seconds and fixes it. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I made my own texture for the saucer in like 10 seconds.
Must be a wizard, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Hexa is the sound guy. I'm more of the texture guy. We're both really good at hard pointing, though, which is why we're a team. We do things for each other, and we collab on a lot of things.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great.
But there's just one thing I would like to mention. When opening Bridge Commander,
Yep.
Instead of just clicking Quick Battle, there's an option under it, and it's like a selection option. If you click it, it'll open like a few other options. One of them is Random Quick Battle, and from my experience, that does not crash. And it has story mode warping, which actually warps the model and is like way more accurate to what you see in DS9 and Voyager.
Oh, really?
So, yes.
wow.
So if you guys, or even you, Retro, if you want to give that a try, and it's like way more complex as well. Some of the functions that you have is you can spawn ships in different systems, and then you can, let's say, travel to a specific system, have a bunch of ships on neutral, tell them to join your side, warp to a different system where there's going to be ships already set there, and then engage in a battle. So you can create
Wow.
like a mini story.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll probably be using that to make videos in the future.
Yeah, because
so.
I mean, if you tried doing that in the standard quick battle, it would crash probably after you warped into the
And
system.
it's not even that. Like the warping mechanics is just really bad for normal quick battle. The ships like just go to full impulse. I think it's annoying.
Great. Well, thanks for that tip. I'm certainly going to be trying
Yeah, of
that
course.
out.
It was originally supposed to be a Quick Battle 2.0, but they never got
Yeah.
around to finishing it, so it's just kind of in the game.
Oh wow.
It was, yeah, it's basically a prototype of a better Quick Battle, if you will.
I see. I have also found if I have like a particular battle that's tricky, say a certain ship is making it crash every time, disabling Nano FX2 can help with stability. But of course, you lose all of the nice special effects by doing that. But I have done that as a workaround in the past.
Yeah. The Excelsior too.
Inquiry.
Yeah. Those Star Trek Online models are pretty dense in terms of vertices and polys.
Oh, we're not even going to talk about some of the models that we found. So we've been trying to find like a bunch of rare ships to put in the game.
Yeah.
One of them, which luckily we already had, was the Interceptor class. That thing, I'll tell you right now, there's like maybe 4 links for a model of that ship on the entire internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that ship is insanely rare. But I'm mentioning this because Greystar once found a model. It had the vert limit to Bridge Commander is 45,000 per piece, aroundish.
Right.
And that thing had 150,000 just on the phasers.
Wow.
Yep.
Kind of ridiculous.
Gosh. So basically just some quick fire questions, really. So if I could ask you, what is your favorite Star Trek TV show?
Mine is Voyager. It always will be. I love the new canon. That was where the relativity was introduced. That's where we first heard about Time Fleet.
Yeah.
And all the new things like the Voth. We got a bunch of new species.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I like it, just because there's so much variety in it and so much potential for storytelling.
Good choice.
That's really fun. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really have a favorite Star Trek show. I have more favorite era.
Okay.
Because that's, Next Generation, DS9, and Voyager. Simply because of the connection. There's some plot holes in here and there, but overall, for shows that were directed by different people, they really are like they keep each other's legacy, I would say.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't like, this is just my opinion, but I honestly hate modern Trek. And honestly anything modern, like Doctor Who, for example, it's disgusting what they've done. So yeah, I usually stick to the 1990s, early 2000s for these franchises because they're just amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you on Doctor Who. I don't like the newer ones. I'm more old school with that, I think. So next, I wanted to ask you who your favorite starship captain is. That could be tricky.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that is a tough one. You'd be surprised because I read somewhere a while back or saw it in some video that Dax was the captain of the Enterprise J. Well, different body, but
Yeah.
It's honestly, Braxton.
Wow,
Oh,
really?
okay. Yeah. No, actually, I'm gonna go a little bit further than that. I'm gonna say the lieutenant that took over the Wells class. He's my favorite.
Oh.
When I heard him say, like, it was so just like on point. It was just so iconic. Like, sorry, sir, I'm taking command of this vessel for crimes that you are going to commit.
Yeah. You get the feeling that was the first time that had ever happened. Like he was kind of
probably.
You gotta think with their understanding of temporal mechanics and all this stuff, they were the ones creating the Braxton in the past. Come on, Time Fleet, where are you?
So next, this one's probably going to be even more tricky. What is your... Oh, hang on, you've already answered it. So I know your favourite ship is the Wells class, I'm guessing Grey.
Yeah.
And
of course.
And what's your favourite ship?
Yeah, I honestly don't know if I have a favorite ship. Like whenever I start thinking about them, like Voyager, the Defiant, there's a lot of fan ships that I really love. For example, like the Galaxy Mark II, the Excalibur class, this one's canon, the Galaxy X. Like I can't, like, especially when I start thinking about the Enterprise J, like
Yeah.
or yeah, just things like that. I can't pick. I'm sorry,
No,
I
fair
can't. I
enough.
just
That's good answer.
Yeah, no, for me the Wells class immediately takes the lead. It's so alien looking and so different from the normal. Well, I can't say Federation or no, I can't say Starfleet because Time Fleet was developed in the 28th century to be its own separate thing. Temporal research was handed over to Time Fleet. So it's a completely different organization, which is I
Yeah.
guess is why yeah, it's a temporal hot rod and yeah, I love it. And it
Cool.
if I
changes
had to
colors.
say though, if I had to say though,
Yeah.
when you search up 31st century starships on Google, you see some things that actually looks like it would have belonged to Lieutenant Daniels. So if I had to say a favorite ship, would probably be one of those.
Cool. What about Star Trek movies? Do you have a favorite Star Trek movie? Either of you?
I have one.
All good things.
No, that's not really. Well, I mean, it can be considered a movie-ish.
Okay. Not one
I
of
have one.
the first 10 or
I have.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Um, I have one
favorite Star
per
Trek
era.
movie.
I actually really like the original motion picture.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my favorite for the motion picture era series. But for the Next Generation era series or the Next Generation movies, First Contact all the way. That's my favorite one.
Good
It's got
choice.
time
Same.
travel, org. What else couldn't you want? And then it's
Exactly.
continuous
Yeah,
rise.
that's
Yeah.
I would say the same. First Contact is my favorite Star Trek movie.
superb. Yeah, I mean, it had everything, didn't it? Like you said, it's got.
Mhm.
It even tells the story of Star Trek, how the Vulcans came to Earth, made first contact, and
Yeah.
it was
You really
perfection.
got every.
Had the Borg.
Yeah, you had the Borg, you got time travel, you got First Contact, you got the first warp flight, all that. It's the perfect movie.
Mr. Wolf, quantum torpedoes.
Oh, and of course we saw the quantum torpedoes, didn't we, for the first time?
Oh
Yeah,
yes, they look better. They actually look better because the thing is, a quantum torpedo, a photon torpedo is 10 kilograms of deuterium and antideuterium antimatter reaction, right? A quantum torpedo is the same thing, except it's using 0 point energy to double, about almost triple that yield. So essentially, it's a transdimensional photon torpedo.
Really?
yeah.
Um, yes, when you look at, and that's why Starfleet is the only one that has them up until the 2380s, by the way. Um, when you look at the impact visuals for the quantum torpedo in Deep Space Nine when the Defiant fires at that Cardassian ship, it is just like undescribable. It's
They like
beautiful.
shake it around. It is pretty. It is very pretty, and I like that a lot.
Cool. It makes you wonder how they developed it. Did it come from Section 31? Was there a bit of
Probably,
future tech put in it? Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
possibly.
I was
Oh,
getting
why don't you ask
into-
us our favorite weapon?
Sure, but what's your favorite weapon?
Sorry, my favorite weapon in Starfleet. Well, Starfleet and Star Trek. There's a few which I can point out. I don't know if I. Okay, so in terms of torpedoes, I would say my favorite weapon. Ooh, I'm gonna say transphasic torpedo is my favorite one.
Wow, yeah, it
Just
gets
the
the
whole
job done,
idea.
doesn't it?
Oh yes, just the idea of a torpedo emitting like several hundred subspace resonant waves while having the yield of like 3 to 4 times a quantum torpedo is just unreal. And for beam weapons, I'm gonna say infinity modulator arrays, the beam weapons on the Enterprise J.
Cool. That's really cool. Gray, what's your favorite weapon?
I'll have to agree on the transphasics. Those ones are probably my favorite, at least canonical.
Cool.
Weapon.
I'm sure the Borg
And
will
then-
agree with you.
Yeah. And then for beam weapons, I really right back. I really love the Wells class weapons. The Wells class canonically has anti-proton arrays, which is the
wow.
same same energy type used by the Doomsday Machine to give you a power scaling.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. I was in an argument with someone a while back, 2 arguments, but they were related. One of them had to deal with time travel and the creation in Star Trek, and the reason why I created the Enterprise M in the era that it is, the 28th century, is that in Enterprise we see Daniels talking about how time travel was, well, he didn't say necessarily perfected, but he said that time travel was still in an experimental state in the 28th century. So I wanted that to be more of a prototype ship,
see.
Maybe first of its class.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we were discussing was the 24th century technology in Discovery. Now, personally, I think Discovery is its own timeline, founded by the technology that was recovered from the Xindi weapon, as the Xindi weapon schematics were from the 26th century. And they were able to reverse engineer some of that technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly, I think Discovery happened because the temporal Cold War screwed up Enterprise.
That's an interesting theory. There's also the Borg sphere, which was destroyed, and its remnants fell to Earth in first contact.
Yeah, they never kind of like really picked up on that. They kind of mentioned that there was traces of, was it antimatter explosions, which I'm assuming were the residue of the quantum torpedoes. But they never really kind of went into it. Surely they could have got something from that. They must have done.
Yeah. So I mean, like, is it not lineage? Does it suck because it's not in par with the other Star Trek shows? I guess it does, but there is a plausible explanation for it.
Yeah, there's another theory that I had. It's a personal theory, but the Wells-class bridge is not actually the Wells-class bridge. So what we see in relativity, I believe, is a mere projection of something that the 24th century people can they can actually handle. I think that what we see in Enterprise with Daniels, he pulls out the little tricorder thing and he shows Archer all the little timelines and time diversions and different ships and stuff. I think that's what the relativity bridge would actually look like. It's just that the 24th century people could not really comprehend all. If the entire bridge was like that, it would probably be way too much. So they probably simplified it down into a standard looking bridge.
I like that. That's a good explanation, because I mean, we saw how overwhelmed Archer was when he was standing in the middle of that.
It also explains why the relativity bridge on the outside of the ship is symmetrical, but on the inside it's not.
Well, I didn't know that. That's well spotted. So yeah,
dimensional transcendentalism.
That's good. Thanks for coming on, and it was really good to talk to you. If you want to, I know Gray mentioned we could make this like a regular thing, like once a month, once every 2 months, just to like update everybody on mods or what you're working on.
It's fine with me.
Yeah. That's great in my opinion.
I think people would really like that, because you're really in the modding community, and it'd be good to sort of give it a voice on YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, thank you, both of you, for joining us on this celebration special. It's been really fascinating hearing about the Bridge Commander modding world and the exciting new developments that are up and coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I've put a link below to both of your channels, so check them out. They're always unveiling new ships on there.
Probably going to do a video before I go to work today, so yeah.
Oh, there you go. Check it out. No pressure. Wow, what a show it's been. We've had the Chief Comedian, we've had MSR 1701, we've had Greystar, and we've had Hexagonal Nexel. So thanks for watching this feature-length episode, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we have. Please keep sending in your requests, and until next time, bye for now.